Good evening, Twitch. How you doing? It's Wednesday night. Hoping you're having yourself a good week so far. As for myself, well, I took a bit of a sneak peek. We have a bunch of new Behemoths that'll put in the closed beta here in the Maelstrom. So, what happened, if you didn't watch yesterday, which I discovered that I did a bit of a rotation on the endgame Behemoths. And kind of a downer, because I actually was relying on one of the Behemoths to... I was relying on one of the Behemoths to actually get... to complete my set and complete my armor. So that Behemoth, the Naysaga, is gone. Or he was also known as the Shockjaw. In its place, they added a bunch of new... well, not really new Behemoths. Think of it as an iteration of the other Behemoths. So you would have... So I believe what we now have is the... Oh, what are their names? I'm trying to remember their exact names. It's another Embermane. It's... The Pangar... the Rage Gnasher is... I always call it the Rage Gnasher. I know it's a terrible way for it. Rage Tail Gnasher, Frostback Pangar, Deadeye Quillshot, and the Bloodfire Embermane. So, effectively what you have is just iterations of two of the Behemoths we fought in the earlier zones, but this time around they do a lot more damage, and they also have... they have more attacks, or they have that constant string of attacks, and it follows very much the same design as I was ranting and raving about the Hellion. I had a big, gigantic contention with that design, and I can understand maybe having one or two Behemoths in the late game have that type of design, where they're constantly attacking, and, you know, so it's so much you have to focus on more of making the design of the Behemoth be more about, you're going to have to earn the interrupts, you're going to earn the KOs and such. So, where you're actually doing the focus of your damage will matter a lot more. Of course, the hard part is making it so you can actually also cut off the other pieces and such. Because once you get up to the Maelstrom here, we're still in the Uncharted regions, but the Maelstrom here, for a lot of their endgame stuff, you're only going to be able to get loot from completing under very specific conditions. And some of the conditions are absolutely absurd. I believe there's even some, what they call exotics, so think of them as legendary items, or legendary weapons and armor, that can only be gained through those requirements. I believe one such requirement for one of the legendary weapons is cut off a very specific limb of the Behemoth in less than 2 minutes. That's a high bar. That is an extremely high bar that they are aiming for.
Talk to me.
But I can no longer actually upgrade, because of this change, I can no longer upgrade my Shockjaw armor or my Shockjaw axe. I've actually used up all of my Arcanite here. And to let you know, normally... Let's take, not the Firebrand, no, Firebrand would actually, no, not Firebrand, actually, Firebrand wouldn't work. Let's take the Drake Scale here. So every hunt, you get Arcanite, so you get Weapon and Armor Arcanite. Once you enter, and I'm not honestly a huge fan of this design choice. Once you enter the Maelstrom, you will get a quest basically asking for you to hunt a Behemoth, and those Behemoths, once you get up to Maelstrom, they'll drop infused armor Arcanite and infused weapon Arcanite. So not only you're after, and this is where honestly your progress in this game basically hits a wall. You know, it's not, the Uncharted region doesn't have this problem, so if I go up to let's take a look and see if we can find the Pangar set here. Once you're at the Pangar here, I don't think I've ever created actually a Pangar. Let's actually create the Pangar scale plate here. Just as an example. The Pangar, anything in the Uncharted region is still going to need Armor Arcanite. I believe the Stormclaw runs by that same rule as well. I've never really... No, I did. I created the helmet. But the moment you get up to the Maelstrom here, you'll start fighting what effectively are iterations of the Behemoths you fought before, with some exceptions. There are two very specific Behemoths in the Maelstrom. I've yet to be able to defeat them, because even with maxed out armor, and for a frame of reference, let's see, where is it? There's my Shockjaw armor. So I'm at +9 in all of my gear. No, I'm at +8. I'm sorry, I'm at +8 and +7. The max for the end game is at +10. So after +10, you can't upgrade it anymore. So I have in my full gear.
Word of our community's acclaim spreads.
In my standard gear that I have upgraded, I'm at 403 resistance here. Same thing with my weapon. I have the Shockjaw scythe here. It's a level 7x. The max is level 10, and I'm at 394 power. So it's a massive. It's leaps and bounds better than anything else you could actually make from all the other regions, just simply because you actually just can upgrade it more. It really comes down to that. You can just upgrade it more than anything else. And that's where, you know, this is where it kind of make you a lazy hunter. It's like, why I could just use this upgraded armor and such. Because it's just so much more powerful, so much better, even without the resistance, even without worrying about resistances and such. I think is actually what we might actually do. So, the restraints are coming off at this point. But we do have a few other Behemoths here, like the Stormclaw here. You'd effectively be in a suit of Naysaga Armor, fighting the Stormclaw. If anything, I think I will. I've shown you the Hellion. Hellion and Pangar, while Stormclaw is actually pretty difficult, I'd still say you probably would want a team. Same thing with the Karabakh. And if anything, I'll actually show those. I've barely hunted those enemies, though. Because, as you can see, where is it? I kind of wish... I wish I would make up their mind. It's like, this is just a cluster in what order it is in. Yeah, so 66. Yeah, and then the Naysaga Armor here is actually a tier below it. Actually reached max level. Yeah, max level for the Naysaga by itself is the +4. So the max is actually 78 for that.
Take care, Slayer.
But for what the Stormclaw is actually weak to fire, kind of like every other, I think almost every other the electric types, the Drask and the Stormclaw are actually both weak to fire. Actually, I can check that out right now. No, Naysaga is actually weak to ice, so you actually do need to be specific. You do need to take a look and see what they're actually weak to versus what they're strong to. But I probably spend the least amount of time hunting in the Uncharted region. I instantly just jump straight to... Yeah, see, it's a massive difference. That's 100 stat difference between the two. And same thing with the same thing with jumping down when it comes to the swords and such. Yeah, Ember Blades gives you level even though that's level 3. It's a huge difference. I'm actually just gonna use the Naysaga Axe. It'll do less damage against it. I guess we'll put on the chains one more time, because I still would like to. I want to be able to show what you're going to be expecting at that level. Because I don't want to. If I did a stream of nothing but, hey, let's powerhouse through the entire game, I'd find it'd be a very unfair representation of Dauntless. Because I don't want to advertise the game as this game is easy or anything like that. Because I want people to actually understand, not only on... You know, I could tell people why I have criticisms about the combat, or the design of the bosses, or the design of the behemoths and such. And the direction the developers actually have taken it from a player's experience. But I also find it's important to show it. And that to me is the most important thing. I want people, when they actually look, if they take their time, they watch these VODs and such, or they watch my stream, they're going to be able to know, by watching, how it is when you're actually simply watching it as a player. And I will tell you right now, after trying a bit of a sneak peek for the Maelstrom and the new Behemoths, oh buddy, my criticism is that I think they need to do less damage. I think they need to do a lot less damage in their design. It's very doubtful, unfortunately, I'll be using the transmog. You know, it was interesting, though, in reading the Reddit for today, for Dauntless today, and a very interesting comment made by a person. I can't help but feel like it's a little bit true that really only one Sky Bloom? That was a jip. I feel like that a lot of people are going to be not so much maining this game, but have it be like a filler style game. Because if people make as much progression as I was able to in that short time span, I don't think with the way it is currently right now and the many number of behemoths, like, they have a decent amount of behemoths. However, it's not... As sad as it's for me to say, I don't think it's enough. I think there's a good amount. I think it's also good that they did a reiteration of their behemoths. But at the same time, if a person goes hardcore on this game, they will quickly find themselves where the... Wow, this guy is already... I just remembered the downside about the axe. Go. Oh, good, it actually now shows numbers, so now I can actually see if I'm doing damage to the spikes. I always wondered that. I always wondered if I could actually do damage to the spikes. Yeah, so if you kind of notice, this is similar to the Ember main. But it's effectively the electric type. Come on. Hold still, buddy. Darn it. Like I said, I like the super armor from the axes. I really should be focused on his head, though. And for a second, I thought Sendu was the tail. It's unfortunate that the balls... Oh, I guess they actually do something. Oh, don't tell me that's the interrupt point. Ah, come on. Ah, I should have hit that. I was actually curious if that actually did anything. I totally flubbed that. I was going for the perfect. Oh, crap. Nope, I can just... I'm going away. I'd rather not get shocked by the lightning. Gonna be a very lazy hunter. Or a slayer. I'm surprised actually a lot of that missed there. Like I said, the hitboxes are on point in this game. I need to actually use this level up. Batter up. See, it doesn't feel like it does anything. And you kinda wish it does. In here. Oh, there you go, got KO'd. That was a waste. Bollocks. See, I can't figure out what it does to actually make that light up. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, there's no penalty for jumping off. Like, you really should only do it at last resort. It's kind of surprising there is no punishment. Kind of is, actually, when you really think about it. Darn it. You know, actually, I used to be afraid of this guy back in the alpha. Oh, not alpha, back when it was still closed beta, but it was very early closed beta. This guy was a pain in the butt, but you didn't really have electric resistance. I get no fall damage without the map. I think it's because they really couldn't figure out what to do. Like, what are they actually going to have you do? I should have rolled. The only reason I have this much health is because I'm using the axe that heals you. That's the only reason. I would just like to reiterate that. Bollocks. Really? Nothing? Oh, there you go. And now I get eaten alive. Like I said, the axe being able to heal is that imbalanced. He's gonna jump at me. Oh, good job. Really good job, people. Well, that's one of his horns. I guess that's both of them. Ah, come on. There we go. Oh, crap. I'm actually amazed I dodged all that. I don't even know if I did damage on that hit. Like I said, the axe makes you such a lazy hunter. Or slayer. I'm really slipping on using all these terms. Hey, he got caught on fire. Oh, we already got the legs. Wait, what? Why can't I pick this? Can you not pick things up when electrocuted? Okay, there you go. Like, I doubt that would be it. Like, that would be weird, as a rule. Not being able to pick up things. How are you doing, Bell here? How has your day been? Hopefully you've been playing some games on your own time. I've actually been thinking about streaming Starbound, actually. Because, like I said, I've been watching Peanut Butter Gamers Hardcore, and I'm watching it, honestly, because of Lucajin. I've actually owned that game back in the alpha, but I never actually... I bought it, I didn't get it for free or anything like that. Oh, that's just insulting. probably should throw my axe. Damn it. Busy day at work, played a bit of the Town of Salem. Isn't Town of Salem just like that Mafia game, or... I'm trying to think of another example. Damn it, right at the last second. I keep getting greedy for these axe charges. Never heard of that title, you mentioned that, I already forgot. Mafia. There's Mafia, I believe it's also like Werewolf. There's another one it's called. There's a couple of names for the same, what effectively is the same game. Like, you know, someone's, you know, a, creature. Like I said, this Behemoth is a lot easier than the others. It's effectively a reskin of the, Embermane. But because it's electric, it's not so bad, actually. Alright, let's actually get you up, though. Nice! He got the tail. Oh. Whoops. It's always backs up on the third charge. I can never get a full swing on this. Just gonna break up. Wow, that was a major turnaround I didn't expect him to do. Like I said, I get very greedy with the charge attack. You don't actually have to do the charge on the first. You can actually do it on the third swing as well. But like I said, I am just a greedy player. That's not good. There we go. Finally, they actually were able to KO it. I don't know what fell off, but something fell off of him. So it says to me because you like Werewolf and you played it in... when they played in the TRG Coliseum. It was okay. Like I said, it's nothing against, like, them or anything like that. It's more of, oh, you know, I know what... Really? Come on. It's like a second. Also, I should probably pick up that piece. So, very annoying. I can't heal. Oh, it was his leg. Yeah, it goes by a couple of different names. Town of Salem, Mafia, I am just swinging all my stamina away. And now he's just wants to eat me alive. I'm just gonna go over here and drink a potion. Probably the best thing I should do right now. Actually, I think every single piece of the Stormclaw has actually been broken. And I wish you could see how much the monster has. I should probably actually make a small correction. I know when I said last night, I said goes up by 25%. What I probably should have said, he just dropped a health pylon. Yeah, these are the pylons. I know I haven't shown them on stream Well, okay, we're just gonna get a supercharge of health. They're an AoE that stays up for a certain amount of time. And they'll heal you. It's just going twice as fast because the person put down another pylon. I personally think with how mobile this game is for the end game, pylons aren't really great to be used in combat. I prefer using the bulwark potion. And if they're gonna keep my criticism for the end game, the bulwark potion is actually really nice. It's a nice thing to learn or to use when fighting the fighting behemoths that you need to learn. Oh, he has a snowfall one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the snowfall one. I kind of regret not being able to get the snowfall one. Primarily because I didn't want to... You ever get that feeling whenever you play through a beta and there's a wipe, and you don't want to go through it again? That was what kind of killed it for me. I'm basically coming back to this because I want to give it another shot. Damn it. And I wanted to see what they added, because it has been a very long time since the last time I streamed it and played it on my own time. Yeah, so that's a flare. So the flares in this game, like I said, you're hunting the behemoths, and what I actually like about the design of it is that when you launch a flare, it tells you and your teammates where the behemoth is, or the general direction. Like, say you spotted the behemoth. So when you launch a flare, it explodes in the sky, and of course, I have a Twitch one because I got it from the devs at TwitchCon. And so what it does when you use it, it tells your teammates, hey, the behemoth's in this direction. And it basically tells you, instead of like, what was it, Monster Hunter World? I think Monster Hunter World did like a tracking sort of deal. So they really put more of a focus on finding the finding the monster in their game. Like I said, I haven't played Monster Hunter World, but from what I've seen from streams and such, of when certain people played it, when like Force played it, for example, he had to track the footprints, and that would basically do like the breadcrumb trail. This here instead, because the islands are big, but they're still small enough. Yeah, you can split up. You can actually find the behemoth. You don't have to engage the behemoth once you find it. Like, people will stand around on the outskirts because people are still gathering materials and resources and such. Because to actually, do the hunt here. What? What? Oh my god, I finally actually got that one done. I really hope that's actually... Wow. Okay, so... this quest, Mixed Staggers. The only thing I can explain from this is that they changed it from being a individual requirement into a group requirement. Because there was no way I got 5 staggers on the Stormclaw. And I guess staggers also include breaking a part off of the behemoth. But this quest right here, Mixed Staggers, is easily one of the hardest ones to do on a solo basis. Because I didn't have the Hellion and I didn't have the Stormclaw done until today. But your reward is actually one of the very few things that actually increases your combat endurance, which is the Life Drain Tonic. Now, I actually don't know what it does exactly, but we're gonna find out.
That sure as hell wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't. Now, don't go sipping on this when you don't need it. Just think of it. Think of the trouble of an unlabeled bottle of this stuff could cause me at the Broken Blade. Cat would never forgive me. There we go.
Give him hell, Skipper.
That gave me... So they gave you 3 at the start here. Let's see. 8% of all damage dealt will heal all nearby slayers for 30 seconds. That is actually really good. If you can get the damage, that's actually really, really good. I'm curious what they mean by nearby, though. Like, if it'll actually have a visual or not, which, heck, in this situation...
Use this wisely. Catch you later.
I will use it wisely. But yeah, the flares in this game, so that's actually... I can go to style here. So everyone gets a signal flare. So you have the default one, which is this little, flag. Then you have the Dauntless one. I think this one's open for the, like, if you got into the beta. Like, you got into the beta during, or closed beta. I think they might actually, I don't know if they're gonna give this as the default one. There's your standard flag one, and then this one's the Twitch one. And since heck, I've been streaming this game and such, just like, why not? And they have, and what's actually really cool is, I know in the shop, I think they're probably gonna sell more, like, more custom flares. But what's really cool for some streamers, if you ever, check out, Yoshi TV is his actual Twitch URL. And that's not .tv. The username is Yoshi TV. And he actually now works for Phoenix Labs, the developers for this game. And even before that, he was actually partnered. He was in their partner program, and they actually made him a custom signal flare. And so, if you've ever seen Bless RNG, the Twitch emote, which is a global, which Yoshi actually won at TwitchCon 2016, he actually got that signal flare. He got that emote turned into a signal flare in this game. It was really cool. It's actually really cool. Got a lot of other Dauntless partnered streamers and stuff, I believe, also have it. Yep, that's the one, Balthier. That is the very one. Oh, right. I should actually... Let's just actually try. So I'm going to take the Frenzy Tonic here. I'm going to switch it to the Life Drain Tonic. And we've got, I believe, one more hunt to do, actually. Under the Uncharted Reaches. That's right, the Karabakh. Now, the Karabakh is actually weak to both lightning and fire. I know it says, like, it's an up arrow. Like, that... The up arrow effectively means its weakness versus its strength. The down arrow means it's strong against. So if anything, let us go and hunt a Karabakh. Like, Stormclaw's not easy as a behemoth hunt. I am still floored seeing people actually wearing that Hellion armor. There's gotta be some... That takes dedication. Same thing with the Pangar armor. I mean, Pangar's rough, but it's not hard like that. Like, difficult like the Hellion. Fighting the Hellion, that's difficult. That's hard. And if you have these set for the Hellion, more power to you. Or a maxed out weapon. But once we kill this Karabakh here, I'm gonna unleash myself from my restraints here and put on my best armor and best weapon and such. Because I actually do want to show the Maelstrom, show what the endgame is like, and how it turns. Like I said, my main criticism, I don't like the fact that I'm hunting, I go from farming one form of Arcanite to 3 types of Arcanite. Also, what would be really cool is an option, like a simple toggle in the options, I don't even know if it exists, of turning helmets on and off as a luxury thing. I'm sure it exists, but I'd still would like to, like, I would like it to be, I would like to see it on an easy, like, just easier. Easier to see, easier to find. Why am I only getting 1 Sky Bloom here? I'm trying to do a weekly here, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the fun begins, so I don't... Well, this will make up for the life tonics I've actually made. Oh, and they found him. So let us go and see where it is. Someone has a question mark. Question mark flare, that's good. I'm actually skipping gather. I've honestly stopped gathering a lot of materials as of late, and they've already jumped the behemoth. Goody. So the Karabakh is actually a gigantic bug. It is actually a very unique fight, but I still have problems with this one because of how mobile it is, how quick the Karabakh is, and how difficult it is to actually get an interrupt. Because once again, if you're using a chain blade, you're not going to be able to do anything. And, like, I'd say their hitboxes in this game are too good. Oh. Because once he attacks, he usually goes far. Alright, so that broken heart there is actually a very painful debuff. I didn't know what it did for the longest time, and I found out what it does. So what this does... So what that actually, what this, that heart debuff does, is if you run out of stamina, you'll actually... I'm just gonna run away. Darn it. One opportunity. One opportunity. This is the other debuff of the Karabakh. There's no counter to it, and I really actually hate it. I also really wish there was a lock-on system, so it would just let me track the, Yep, this is the Karabakh. It also goes invisible. Like a StarCraft cloaking invisible, like the Protoss. Unless that person with a hammer just decks it in the face and KOs it. I've actually been terrible at fighting this behemoth. Oh yeah, so this heart debuff, if I run out of stamina, I'll actually take a lot of damage. Probably will actually kill me. I can actually show it. Let's actually kill ourselves. That's what the heart debuff does. If you run out of stamina, you take an absorbent amount of damage. So I kind of put a bit of a burden on my team here by intentionally killing myself. There's another debuff with these bugs. Let's see if I can actually get it. Give me those bugs. So the bugs there will actually, at random times, interrupt you from attacking. So if you're reliant on charge attacks and such, you'll actually be interrupted. And you'll slow down and such, so you won't be able to do anything. So this was actually one of the other behemoths you used to be able to farm in the Maelstrom. Well, not really farm. You'd have to hunt in the Maelstrom. But he was not a favorite of mine. I am not a fan of the, I'm not a fan of this behemoth. I like the bonuses it gives. The bonuses it gives are good. But actively trying to hit this thing is a pain in the butt. Well, Better now than never. Damn it! I actually do have a hard time tracking this thing. Well, let's actually try this. Or not, we could just be completely oblivious. Like, the funny part is I'm not really phased by how much damage it's doing. I'm not equipped with my best gear. Just as a reference. I can actually heal this person better than the other person. But getting... I hate the bees. Bees, hornets, whatever you want to call them. They're a gigantic pain in the butt. You can still drink potions, it's just that it randomly interrupts you. I wish there was a counter for this. And I don't know if there is. Never reach. I'm the medic. I'd probably say medic is actually probably one of your better set bonuses in this game. Yeah, it's that attack there you could actually interrupt, but it's really difficult even with a war pike. I'm actually surprised I got him. I did not drink the potion. I still haven't drank the potion, apparently. Actually, try and drink the potion. There. So hopefully I can do some damage. It's very unlikely. Like, that's the one thing I'm not the best at, is... You have this setup with the Behemoth design where you're more reliant on the interrupts and KOs, but it's so mobile, and it becomes very difficult to actually land a single hit. Yeah, honestly, I'd hate to say it, but I think that Lifesteal Tonic... That Lifesteal Tonic should have come in a lot sooner than later. Because actually getting hits on these Behemoths for late game, it's difficult. It's way too difficult. And another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust. And of course, if you get knocked out, you run out of health yourself, you're going to, you lose all your, stamina. Oh, it left. Alright. Oh. Well. The pylons don't... They only heal, was it, 15 HP per second? So they don't actually... It will usually take 2 to heal and you to full if you're below half health. You love StarCraft, but you really say... You know, it used to be... People used to be good at StarCraft. And I mean that in a relative sense. Because nobody really knew about metas or anything like that. Or how to build. And so StarCraft 1 was really successful because... Even though you could play online... And there was an esports scene... it was still a very unoptimized game that, when playing with people didn't really know what to do. There wasn't that that centralized knowledge from YouTube and such, or people, you know, or being refined, because let's be honest, it was a rough around the edges game. Oh, I wish I could actually move forward. I'm terrible at landing these axe hits. Hey, got the KO. I don't know what we're supposed to be shooting for, but I keep getting the bugs. It's a really difficult boss to see. Damn it. There's one range attack in this game. There's only one. Technically two. The chain blades, the chain blades elemental heavy attack in this game. Wow, I am really getting my butt handed to me here. Attack from long range. But it's very difficult to determine the distance. Like, that's honestly been my problem with a lot about this game, is determining distances. The other range attack, the proper range attack in this game, is actually the War Pike. And it's fine. Like I said, it's weird that the hitboxes are so gigantic that he's leaving. Yeah, he's leaving. Yeah. Or Mr. Pants could put it there, whatever. Some people just don't have patience. You really have to have patience in this game. Oh, that's a fancy banner. The person clearly spent platinum. The other one is the War Pike, but the interesting part about the War Pike is you have to do damage up to a certain point, then you can actually store all the energy you've earned into a bullet. The downside is about the War Pike, it's not accurate at medium to long range. It's not accurate at all. It's actually kind of terrible. I think there honestly is a mobility problem in this game. Like, a mobility and a design problem with the Behemoths. Like, I can understand having a certain level of speed, but even when your attack animations send them flying across the map, it makes it very difficult. And I don't know if it's the right type of difficulty it should have. Because it makes it very difficult to hit these behemoths. And honestly, it's a very frustrating aspect of this game. It honestly is a very frustrating aspect of this game, is when you have the behemoths, and they're big. They're big, and yet their hitboxes are so perfect around their body that there's no margin of error. So if you're missing, you are literally missing the entire body of the behemoth. As in, it could fly over you. Or you could be just in that dead zone for the behemoth, and you will not hit that behemoth at all. And it's kind of frustrating, honestly. I'm not gonna get a hit here, he's gonna throw blades. I gotta figure out what lantern these guys have. And that's why I like the axes now more than anything else, because it just comes down to getting that one good hit. If you can get that one good hit... I will say, though, the Karabakh's weakness is actually the War Pike. And not for the reasons you think of. Because the Karabakh does a charge attack. And when it does the charge attack, if you can hit it, you will stun it. There we go. Karabakh's not easy. In any stretch of the imagination. He may be on the smaller side for the behemoths at this level. But he is still incredibly difficult to hit, no matter what weapon you use. You could use a sword, you could use a hammer, you can even use the chain blades. It is still hard to hit. It is the same problem when dealing with the Pangar and the Hellion and their tails. All the other Nashers that you fight have their tails firmly planted on the ground so that anyone can attack it. And that's why I think part of the issue is the attack animations themselves. Because you have to be very... Because at the core of it, when you're really fighting the behemoth, you do want to be able to have your players miss an attack. You know? And there's multiple ways to miss. Miss by distance, or missing the model, which is probably actually what's happening most with me. Actually, who am I kidding? I'm just missing the model. But I mean, you're right next to the model, but you swing your weapon, and it's because of the way the animation works, or the animation is shown, it misses it. So, like, if I do a horizontal swing with the axe here, and I'm fighting the Pangar, if it lifts its tail up just a little bit, I'm not gonna hit that tail. Versus if it was, like, stapled onto the ground, just like all the other Nashers, I would probably get that hit. So, that's pretty much why I just moved on immediately to the Maelstrom. Like, I will say, I probably would not be enjoying... Like, I probably wouldn't even be at the point having half of my gear if it wasn't for... So I'm going to switch back to the Shockjaw Scythe here. And I'm also going to go back to my armor here. I actually do also have the Rage Tail set as well. I've actually been farming... the Rage Tail for... And I'll show you actually what I mean when I say farming the Rage Tail. I'm going to put on my actual good gear. It gives me 403 resistance. And I'll tell you right now that the behemoths in the Maelstrom they do about 50% of your total health per hit. It's a lot. I think it's too much, honestly.
Oh, hey, Slayer.
But what I have a problem with when it comes to upgrading the true end game armors and such is that you not only need to farm this thing called Pure Infused Armor Arcanite. So you move from Arcanite to Pure Infused Armor Arcanite. But then we have another Arcanite we have to farm, which is called Charged Armor Arcanite. Actually, I think we have a third one. Give me 1 second. I actually want to make sure of this. I think there's actually a third one. Where's my other set here? Let me actually make sure here. I can actually just go to inventory here. I go to regions, supplies. Where is it? Cores? Yeah, Dauntless pack media. That's the cells, supplies. Those are my supplies. Really? It's only regions. You gotta be kidding me. Is Arcanite in here? Yeah, pure infused. Okay, so it's in alphabetical order. Gatherables, break parts, gatherables. Here we are. Yeah, so this actually... So there's 3 now... So originally there's just Arcanite. But then we have to collect infused Arcanite, pure infused Arcanite, and then charged Arcanite. That's a little much, honestly, just moving into the final area. That you're moving from 1 to 4 different types of things you need to actually collect. I guess you would actually just... It would go to 3, not 4. Have yourself a good night, Balthier. Thanks for coming by. But yeah. I don't like this, honestly. You know, when you moved instantly from Weapon Arcanite and Armor Arcanite to then Infused, okay, that's fine. Farm 1 additional type. Then you want me to collect Pure Infused. And then you want me to collect Charged Weapon Infused. It's really redundant. And not in the good way. There's a redundancy here that does not need to exist. And it's making it more complicated than it needs to be. Because not only is your quantity of getting the Charged Weapon Arcanite decreases if you go for like a specialized hunt instead of going for random, because random you don't know what you're gonna get, and good luck actually making sure you have the skill and the gear and also a team that's strong enough to actually take it down, because these behemoths at the Maelstrom here, they hit like trucks. I mean, and not to mention, if you want to talk about hitting even harder, there's 2 behemoths I have yet to been able to kill. The Shroud and the Razakiri. And they have their own elemental type, their own unique model, and they're not based off any of the other behemoths. So they are, by themselves, unique behemoths. And one has their own element, which is Radiant, and one has Shroud, which is a shadow. Now, I personally have yet to even find a team able to actually beat it, and you can only fight them on the heroic level difficulty. And the only way to actually, for me to upgrade my gear now, is if I actually go up against heroic behemoths. So if I go into normal, I get infused weapon Arcanite. I don't need that anymore. It's effectively a thrown away one unless I want to build another set of armor. But the reason I do farm these guys, still, is because regardless if you're doing normal or heroic, it's not going to change their drops. But I will show you with the Ragetail Gnasher here, because it's actually the easiest of the group. We'll do a normal one, and then we'll do a heroic one. The things change. And when I say changed, collecting their parts is not just a simple break their part, you get their part. Now, if you break a part, you don't get anything. You now have to fight the behemoths under very specific conditions. And this is where I think another design flaw actually occurs, is you don't have direct control of controlling what condition they need to be in to be able to get that part. The condition I'm actually I should specify here is that they need to be in their berserked mode. How's it going, Where Awesome Devil? How are you doing? How are you doing tonight? I am ranting and raving about Dauntless. What we're actually seeing is the end game of Dauntless here, which is going to be a free-to-play Monster Hunter game. But I've been ranting and raving about what I think are some of the design flaws here for the late game. I honestly think they hit the Behemoths for the late game hit too hard in relation to the armor system. And this is why part of me actually kind of doesn't like the fact that you have armor in this game, because I like the idea of just building up your sets for your armor and weapons and the cells, over the fact of being very limited by, hey, here's this armor set. Because I thought it was like a very small pool, but clearly they made iterations of the Behemoths, but they didn't just let you fight all of them at once. Because, you know, this is a beta, after all. No problem, and Devil is okay. Devil is okay, you know, your name is weird. It's the internet, everyone has weird online names. I think Tenmar's normal? Balthier was here. I believe, if I'm guessing here, Balthier probably named himself after the Final Fantasy XII character. I still need to actually play through that Final Fantasy. I also need to decide what RPG I want to stream for the month of June. I can't believe we're already almost halfway through this year. Absolutely disgusting. I feel like I should have beaten more games, but I've been too busy trying to get my own personal house in order that the only time I have been streaming has been this. And if you want me to call you Devil, I'll call you Devil. I don't mind calling anyone the way they want to be, what they actually want to be called. Short of certain limitations that would violate, say, Twitch's terms of service and such. I was actually upset. Well, not really upset. I was saddened today, reading news that a game so one group of Twitch that needs a lot more promotion. I mean, we enjoy the hobby of video games, but the thing that doesn't get promoted in this game, and where the heck is... Oh, there's the Behemoth, okay. I'm like, where the heck is the Rage Tail here? I'm wondering. A group that doesn't get a lot of coverage is the, creatives, so artists, you know, artists, chefs, and especially, and one important one, game programmers. So this is the Rage Tail Gnasher. This actually used to be a mid-tier. This used to be a mid-tier Behemoth, actually. I'm gonna miss that. Yep. Nope, he's just gonna do his normal attack. So the Rage Tail is actually just a traditional Gnasher. I totally missed that. But it does have a few new tricks up its sleeve. Come on. Really? Only that? He's actually going a lot slower than normal. He's gonna roll to the right. I kind of have this Behemoth on lock here. I can actually solo this Behemoth. Which is kind of sad, I know, but it's kind of funny. Ah, darn it. So just in reference, this is me with my best armor. So it's actually almost maxed out. And now he's gonna do his charges. Now he's going after him. Hey, I'm lucky. I got the electric attack. why I'm not using this. I want to do more damage. Unless he's using electric. He could be using electric. Oh! Alright. Alright. Like I said, kinda have this behemoth unlocked. I know what to do. It might run away. Yep, it's running away. Alright. Totally screwed that up. That was a good opportunity to attack. And he pushed me. My own teammate pushed me. I kinda don't like that, but I understand why it's there. Because they don't want all the people in a single grouping. I'm gonna get hit, aren't I? Oh no, he actually has a Stormblade. So yeah, he actually might have the yeah, he actually is probably the one getting the attacks in. I thought it was me, but apparently, I'm using just the vertical attack. Why is he getting stunned? Oh, whoops, he's going berserk again. Oh, that was the bad move by Ancestral Sword. So, this is what makes this game. I don't agree with this design choice. So it used to be you break off a piece, you would get a part. Not so much anymore. So now you have effectively rare and epic versions of drops. And they won't drop unless you actually hunt, unless you get them in a berserk state. So like right now, it's in its berserk state. What the? Oh, that was new. Like, their hitboxes are on point in this game, I swear. Almost any other game, you would have a developer go, that's close enough. This one, though, nope, you missed, because you did not hit that model dead on. Unfortunately, we missed an opportunity to actually get a hit in. Gonna go, you're gonna do your swings. I'm used to hunting this thing alone now. It's going to run away. But I will say, the axe I'm using is incredibly powerful because, well, it heals you. So the reason I don't really use the elemental swing on the axe, so there's actually a horizontal and a vertical. Horizontal doesn't do as much damage as the vertical. I mean, nowhere near as much damage. The benefit, though, of the horizontal attack, you can actually, swing. So, like, this is actually the vertical here. Yeah, so, no, nowhere near as much. Oh. actually hit him in the head for that. Also surprised I missed that. How am I missing all of this? And I probably should let the flare. Oh, there's Ancestral Sword. He just... Alright, the Rage Tail just wants to go after him. Oh. I can't tell if it's wants to go berserk or not. It wants to go berserk now. No, it does not. I am not KOing this beast here for some reason. Darn it. But you're right, the one thing Balthier was actually saying earlier was I kind of wish it was easier to tell if you're going to break apart or not. Because as the other part, I hate that you can get body blocked by your own allies. Oh, I'm just gonna go the other way. Get any more damage from that. There we go. Yeah, so that purple orb there is actually what we actually want. Because now we basically are farming for rares and epics. Although I don't know what part was broken off. He went upwards. I guess so I KO'd him. Actually surprised. Oh, it was his leg that actually got the hit. And he got KO'd. Or he got shocked. I am totally doing the worst thing ever. By hitting not his leg. There we go. Got another piece. That was blue. That was a rare piece. So you only get these rares and, the rares and epics when they actually are in their enraged state. Anything else, you don't get anything of value. And this is what makes the game more difficult. Just gonna go the other way. And I missed because he jumped. It's amazing. Like, it's honestly amazing the hitboxes on these guys. It really is amazing how precise they are. Like, I've never seen hitboxes that precise. I'm just grabbing these for the mission, or for my dailies. Because I guess the other hook to keep you playing this game, if we're gonna be straight, straight with it, is that after you basically have everything on lock, you have dailies. And it's supposed to encourage you play in a variety of ways. So, you know, some days they'll want you... Actually, if anything, I haven't even taken a look at today's dailies. So, your dailies build your reputation, and that's what gets you... That's what gets you cells, which allow you to further enhance your gear. So it's like, we have gather 10 dash leaf, complete expedition hunts, with an axe, break 5 parts from any behemoths, with sword, break parts. So they give you very specific ways to play the game and such. Personally, I understand why they have it set up this way, but at the same time, not the biggest... It's hard. Like, can't say I'm the biggest fan of it, just because of the way I usually play a lot of games. And he chases after Ancestral Sword. Please turn to a 180. Thank you. Very hard to get that exact hit. Because once you, like, let's be honest, the Nash's arms are tiny. They are very tiny. I'm gonna get squished. I also swung the wrong direction. Ah. I don't know what was wrong with me on that one. Charge. Like, the reason why there's a good ebb and flow with this boss is because this behemoth used to be a mid-tier behemoth. So, actually that's why a lot of his design is similar to the original Nasher. Same thing with a lot of his attacks. The only thing they really amplified against the Rage Tail Nasher was his damage output. I mean, but this is the behemoth I actually used to farm, so I can get the not the infused. I'm only gonna get infused from this, but the charged Arcanite. Yes, I'm getting the infused from this one. If I do it on heroic, I will get charged Arcanite, which is what I need out of anything else, because that is what it takes to boost your armor and weapons once they get, I believe it gets up to +5. So anything beyond +5, so basically 5 through 10. Or maybe 6 through 10 would be a better way to say it. You're gonna need that charged Arcanite. But the hard part about it is that, aside from having to collect that, you also need to collect the parts. However, the parts are a lot more difficult to actually acquire. Because you're not going to, so we'll take my current weapon here. I'm not able to get it anymore because they took the behemoth off the rotation here. Like, I'll be able to actually upgrade it where it is. Let me actually think here. Maybe my Rage Tail Sword would be a better example. Rage Tail Sword here. No, this is actually only +1. But basically, the only way you're going to be able to get those parts... So you have epic drops, and then you also have... Where are they? So you have common drops, yeah, so right now I just need both epics to upgrade the Rage Tail set. But the charged armor Arcanite is really difficult because you only get them from doing heroic behemoths. I'm actually kind of surprised, actually. They actually took away the Charog. The Charog was on the rotation, actually. That was the other one before everything changed. It's called the Firebrand Charog. Yeah, but the Storm set here... I actually need a Wait, wow, none of my pieces actually need an uncommon. That's actually surprising. But basically, you're hunting for uncommon and epic parts now. And that requires breaking off the parts of the behemoth when they're in that enraged state. But there's a problem with that. There's a physical change in the way the behemoths look when you're close, but it's not precise. And that's where I think it's kind of a flawed design. If it was just breaking off the parts, I think it would be fine. You know, you break your parts, you might get a rare. That might be one way to do it. But because they have it set up where it's like, okay, if you want to get the rare drop, and sometimes you might just need the rare part to actually take it up, take your weapon or armor to the next level. But if you can't get that, or if you have bad luck on RNG, because they didn't just make it one level, they added 2 levels to the heroic farming. So just like you need just like they made it a 3 levels. So it's like, okay, great. If you want to up the end gain armor, you not only need infused Arcanite, you need pure infused Arcanite and charge infused Arcanite. So you're hunting for 3 types of Arcanite. Same thing with hunting the end game Behemoths. You're not only just looking for the drops now, or the common drops, or the parts that they actually have. You need to be able to get them when they're in that Berserker state, but you don't even know if you're going to get the part you need. And that is what I think is flawed. If it was, like, if they're in the Berserk state, and they will drop that rare part, and you get rid of the epic, I think it might be more fair. But because they added that other layer on top of it, you now have a sense of you're battling RNG. So even if you're a dead set focused layer, hunting one specific behemoth, you could hunt a behemoth 100 times and still be screwed by bad RNG. You just won't get the epic, you just won't get the, or you just won't get the rare. And that's one of the what I think is one of the unfortunate designs of the game.
Before they get you.
If anything, we have some more time left. Go back to the Maelstrom. This time I'm going to do Heroic, and against my better advice, so I'm actually going to do a Patrol. And we're going to see what we actually end up with. I didn't get any quest. I don't think I have all the lanterns unlocked, and I think I'm the only lantern left. Oh, buddy. Well, this is why I've actually avoided the randoms. You're about to see one of the end game behemoths I have been able to kill. It looks like these two are actually fully geared for it. They're actually using the armor sets of the behemoths. And this is where I should be, honestly. I should be trying to get used to fighting the behemoths and learn their attack patterns and how to ignore them, but you're about to see why I've kind of gone into farming mode. Because these behemoths are brutal. And just to let you know, the Razakiri and the Shroud are you can only fight them when you're doing heroic Maelstrom hunts. But how have you guys been doing tonight? Have you been playing the Dauntless beta, or are you interested in the open beta? Of course, if you have any questions about the beta, feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, it seems like we're going to be waiting the entire 5 minutes. I know a lot of people would rather just hunt with 4 people. I would definitely recommend this game if you've never played a pure Monster Hunter game. So, like, I've played other Monster Hunter style games, like Mercenary Kings. I consider that to be a Monster Hunter style game. Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Xenoverse games, I consider them to be Monster Hunter games, because they all share the very same core formula of what you actually need to do, or actually want to do. It's the same gameplay treadmill. A little bit of RNG thrown in with the, alright. Well, there was our 4th person, but then they quickly took off. I don't blame them. I do not blame them at all, because I think the people who actually beat this behemoth is on a very short list. I kind of do wish you could see numbers, though, but back to the breaking of parts, though. I know you get the visual tell, but it's not good enough. Especially when you have that precondition of to get the chance for epic or rare drops. During that Berserk status, you don't know. Without that precision, you just can't tell when you actually need to make that hit. And I know part of that will just break the immersion of the game that the developers will create. But honestly, I'm willing to equip like a lantern or some part that will give me that precision. Like, if I know the next axe hit is going to break off a part on a heroic... on a Maelstrom Behemoth, I would like to know, so it's like, okay, stop attacking that, it's like one hit away, and then inform my teammates and let them know. It's like, hey, we can't hit that anymore, we need to wait for it to be berserked. Because a lot of people at this level leave hunts because they're not getting the parts they need. And it's because when you have it designed like this, that you need those parts to upgrade your gear for the very end game. Oh. You're about to see the Razakiri. The Radiant Behemoth. Oh, that must have been from the winter event. I'm kinda upset at myself for not getting that while I had the chance. I should have done it. I should have done it, but I got tired of playing Monster Hunter style games. Like, I'm always after trying to do something new. Or playing a game I've never played before. And when your games, like, the reason I have trouble going into a game like Warframe, for example, is primarily because I've played that style of game before. Like, part of it is playing solo. Doesn't make me want to play those games. But when you get into that repetitive cycle, it's like, well, okay, this is it. This is the game. The other reason I probably don't play a lot of Warframe is the reliant on getting platinum. Like, it's made the company, I'm trying to remember who the developers were for, Warframe. I always forget their name. You can tell how hardcore I am when it comes to Warframe. I'm not. But it's based all on their real world economy, which it's actually they're running on platinum, just like these guys. Where the heck is the Razakiri? I'm actually starting to wonder. Yeah, one person was AFK. That makes sense. Let's see. Is it over here? Ah, there it is, Behemoth Ho. Oh, what's this be? Okay, it's the regular Dauntless flare. Do we have all our guys? Yeah, please don't engage by yourself. So... This is gonna be painful. So I want you to take a close look at my health when I get hit. And that's a win, not an if. One hit, and Oslo Dragon's down to 30% HP. That was one hit. One hit from me. I'm at 50%. Your Behemoths do way too much damage at late game. Way too much. I'm actually healing my team with that lifesteal tonic. He does have a somewhat of an ebb and flow. Damn it. So what I've actually been using is a bulwark potion that reduces the damage done by the behemoth by 45%. 45% of that damage is mitigated. There is... This is what... Okay, and just to put this in also perspective, I'm at +8 and 9... +8 and 9 armor. One hit! That took... 40%... That took over 50% of my health. That should not be allowed in any stretch of the imagination. It is absolutely unacceptable of how absurdly powerful this behemoth is. Or how much damage it does, into relation of how much stamina you actually need. This is what made me stop playing. Like, let me rephrase that. It's what made me stop playing... It's what made me stop playing against these guys. Like, this is too hardcore. This is too hardcore. Like, I understand what they want to do, but this is too hardcore. This is way too hardcore. This is one hit, you're basically dead. This is not fair, in any stretch of the imagination. Just one of those little bullets will destroy you in terms of damage, or in terms of your health. This is what I don't like about this game. I think their scaling is way off, and their entire body becomes a hitbox. Like, this is not good game design that any developer should be proud of. Oh, goody! Even when you actually try and think you're smart and play, get underneath. Like I said, this is what made me stop playing. This is not fun in any stretch of the imagination. This is bad game design. I can use my crystal. Oh, well, never mind. I could use it. Never mind, I'm down. This is what makes me just not want to play your game. It's dumb. This is bad design. This is why people quit, and this is why the end game of this game is at a very short list of people who will actually have the tolerance to play. There is no ebb and flow, it is way too aggressive, and it's too punishing. I totally botched that. He's gonna attack, isn't he? No, he does a shotgun attack. Oh, come on! This is dumb. This is bad game design. I normally don't do it, but no, like, it has nothing. I'm rating it 1. And I have the same experience with the Shroud. One hit, you lose 50% of your HP. You either are using the Bulwark Potions, and I just want to also show something. And this, I think, is a problem. Like, this is why I become attached to the axe. It really comes down to a sense of combat endurance. And in this game, combat endurance doesn't really work. There isn't much at all. So, you have your standard 5 healing potions and your revive crystal. That's okay. You have the Skarn's Lantern that gives you a 200 HP shield, and for 90% of the game, it's fine. Until you get up to the Maelstrom, or specifically the heroic part of the Maelstrom. But in terms of what your defense options are, you have the Bulwark Potion, reduces damage taken by 45% for the next 3 hits. That's actually really powerful. That's extremely powerful, and I think that's actually really good. Because at the level, I would say in terms of damage taken, for most of the progression of this game, it's actually been fair. The moment it became unfair was when you got up to the Maelstrom, and specifically the Heroics. It's pretty punishing on the normal, but it's obscene and unacceptable when it gets up to when you get to the Maelstrom on Heroics. But the only other thing you have that reduces damage is the Iron Hyde Pylon. Now, you've seen what the Lifespring Pylon does. It has the same exact area of effect and radius. It does decrease it just as much as this, but the downside is you could only take 2 into battle. You can only take 2 Iron Hyde Pylons into battle, just like you can only take 2 Lifespring Pylons. And this only does it for 45 seconds. So 97% of your battle of hunting a behemoth, and that's being generous. It really should be only 99% of the time, you will take a hit and you will take the full force. And the downside is, the Pylon, you're forced to fight in a radius. We're not fighting sentries here, we're fighting actively mobile, consistently attacking behemoths in the endgame. If you're going to make a damage reduction tool, make a personal one and make an AoE one. Make it a mobile AoE one, so you're collaborating, you're working together as a team, and you're being mobile as a team. If you want, you could create a third item. You can have the Pylon be a stationary one and create a mobile version of it. Because I will tell you right now, it's kind of nice being able to heal after a battle, after the behemoth runs away. I feel like that's still very much a necessity. Because this is your only other way to... This is your other way to heal. Aside from the axe and the life drain tonic. And no offense, the life drain tonic's not exactly reliable. It's not reliable. It is not reliable for how quickly the attacks are from the behemoths. This also includes their attack animations, their speed of their attacks, and their actual hitbox models. All of those are major factors as to why things like the Life Drain Tonic are not effective healing methods. It allows healing, but it's not effective. Lifespring Pylon, it's effective. You shouldn't be using it in battle. It's a stationary. It's a recovery item. Bulwark is honestly your best tool in this game, I'd say, in terms of items. Just because you reduce damage taken by 45% for the next 3 hits. But those 3 hits happen really, really quickly. And for the really good players, when you have something on farm, it works. Like, that's a good item. But when you have issues, and I know, and I'm hoping these are bugs, like your recovery animations, or being chained from being in a recovery animation in which you're vulnerable and you're not invulnerable anymore, to getting hit again, basically getting you comboed, it makes the Bulwark Potion completely worthless. You just lose all of your charges. And there's nothing else that really helps you. Attack speed, that doesn't increase the speed of your charge, or anything like that. It's honestly good for swords, like if you really want to power up, but I don't even know why it's like based on health missing. The only way it reaches 30% is when you're dead. This should actually be a flat bonus. This honestly should be a flat bonus. Just give us like 15% attack speed and give it for 60 seconds. When you have the missing health qualifier, players aren't keen to use it. Especially when the Behemoths take, usually on average, about 1/5 of your health. Like, honestly, the average damage you take from a Behemoth is about 20%. And that's overall fine. You know, it's especially fine when you actually have the axe from the Naysaga or Shockjaw. You can be really lazy with the axe. I'd say, honestly, the axe is probably one of the most powerful weapons in the game in terms of combat endurance, because it's a reliable heal. It is the most reliable heal in the game. Aside from, obviously, the healing potions. Stamina Tonic. It's nice, but and here's one thing I don't understand about the Stamina Tonic. Or at least the stamina mechanic in itself. There's always a pause between recovering stamina and spending stamina. So when you're in a running, when you're running, obviously you're draining your stamina. But the moment you stop, you actually stop full force. And you stop regenerating stamina full force. And you need to be reliant on it. And realize you can only take 3 items with you. So you need to be very, very particular in what you actually bring into combat. These, they made the health potion, they gave you the 5 health potions and say, alright, here you go. You're no longer going to have to make that. I think that's a good thing. But only being able to bring a limited amount, so like Iron Hyde, Pylon, yeah, you can only bring 2. You can actually bring 5, I only have 4 Frenzy Tonics. Blitz Tonic, you can bring 5. Assault Tonic, you can bring 5. This is probably ideal for, like, an axe wielder. Is the stagger. Is the stagger damage. Because stagger damage is its own health bar. Hey, actually, I'll give that a shot. So, if anything, I'll probably do one more heroic. We'll actually just... You know what? We'll make it the Nash... Actually, no. I haven't seen the Bloodfire Embermane. I'm actually curious about the Bloodfire Embermane. Let's go try the Bloodfire Embermane. This is going to be painful, because I don't exactly have fire resistance gear. So I'm going to see if we can actually wait for a couple of people to show up. Hey, that looks like a little heart. But I think that's honestly, some major critical design flaws when it comes to the endgame of Dauntless. Taking 50% or more health immediately is honestly a morale killer. It's a major morale killer. And I think also one of the more important things I'd like to emphasize is that I've been doing a lot of this solo. Solo in the sense of playing reliant on pickup groups, which I think honestly is going to be your majority of people who play this game. Like, your hardcore is definitely going to, in the end, who's going to get the exotics, so in other words, those legendary items, the legendary weapons, the legendary armor. Those are going to be people who are in guilds, they're coordinated, they're on VoIP, they're on Discord, they're, TeamSpeak, whatever you want to actually use. Ventrilo, Mumble, all of those. Skype. But those rewards will only go to the effective, but even then, that's gonna piss a lot of people off. If you're fighting like the Razakiri. And the first attack you get hit by reduces your HP down to 50% or more. And I think at the core of it, it just has to come down to the attack animations of the Behemoths and the pacing of the and actually the design. You just can't have your Behemoths constantly attacking. It's not fair. And it's not a smart design either. I can understand one or two of them. Like, you can make one or two Behemoths be, like, that constant attacking. Like, okay, there's an enemy right by me, I'm going to attack. But you need to compensate it with something. You need to compensate it with giving more opportunities to interrupt. And I don't see that actually happening right now, in the current state of the beta. Because as fundamental of a game this is, you need to... It makes every smaller decision more impactful. Like, if your Behemoth is really going to take 50% or more HP per attack, that better be the weakest... That better be the smallest HP... Wow, okay, alright, I guess we're fighting this thing by myself. That's another reason why I was on a binge of playing this game. I'm no longer on a binge of playing this game, because nobody's playing. And I know this is partially because it's closed beta. But I think there's a major level of intimidation, or the wall of the Hellion and Pangar, that just prevents people from actually experiencing the endgame. And it's things like that that are not going to garner a very active player base. Oh, wow, wow, okay, he's already here. I actually didn't expect him to be right ahead. Oh, that is a big Embermane. Yeah, it's a big boy. Oh! And I think part of it will just come down to the stamina. I actually don't even know if I can interrupt this. That was a 60% hit. This is the problem that this game has. Okay, I thought he actually missed that. Okay. Here's another thing that actually needs to be updated. Camera turn speed on gamepads needs to improve a lot. And it's the same thing with the Warpike and the aiming. That needs to be adjustable. And that's the biggest problem of this game. The pacing of the Behemoths is too fast. It makes me not want to play this game. It really kills it. When you have a proper ebb and flow of a hunt, you're going to have to actually realize that is not good game design. It is not good boss design. And I know I'm speaking primarily from a person who played Dark Souls and such. That's my real only experience. I haven't played Monster Hunter games, so I'm not some Monster Hunter veteran here. But realize, probably most of your player base probably never played Monster Hunter. This needs to be an introduction game to people who are interested in Monster Hunter games. And that includes the endgame, because some people might actually just like it keeping it simple. When it's as punishing as this, it's rough. Like, oh, I just got hit for 60% of my health. And I know part of the answer should have been, well, you should have taken your bulwark potions. Oh yeah, one other thing I should mention that is a bug in this game. I still have the Assault Tonic equipped, but I wasn't able to bring it into the mission. That's another thing that actually needs to be fixed. You cannot bring Assault Tonics into hunts. I don't know why, but you can't. Or at the very least, it's not visible when you go into a mission. That's kind of why I've been using the Frenzy Tonic still to this day. Frenzy Tonic is actually one of the first ones you get. But I think that's what's going to do it for me. I think that's what's going to end my time streaming Dauntless. And I don't like ending it on a negative note, but I want to emphasize that this is a beta, and I want to be as critical and as specific as possible when it comes to playing this game. I think there's a lot of potential with this game, especially if you go for a free-to-play market. I think there's a lot of really good... You see the effort in a game like this. You know, for a company that is making this their first endeavor, they've got the right people. They're not slacking off here. They put a lot of detail into the art, they put a lot of detail into the music, into the atmosphere, into the world they've created. You can see that effort. But when you get down to the gameplay, it's good at first, you're enjoying yourself, but then the moment you hit those heroics, or once you hit that maelstrom, everything just falls apart. Everything that you're used to, from the Monstrous Verge, the Yonder Keys, and you start to see it fall apart at the Uncharted reaches. But then you see it take it to 11 in the maelstrom. And once you get up into the, once you get up to this area here, in my opinion, it falls apart. And it falls apart hard. I think the only thing, and the only reason why, I want to actually, the only reason why, and I will tell you right now, the only Behemoth I have gotten charged Arcanite from has been from the Ragetail Gnasher, and that is because the Ragetail Gnasher used to be a mid-tier Behemoth. And he is easily the least punishing of the group. They upped his damage to still be of that unacceptable level, where if you don't have a Bulwark Potion equipped, and a Ragetail Gnasher hits you, there goes 50% of your HP. He's still on that level, in terms of damage. But he's the easiest to dodge attacks from, because all he is, he's using the same attack patterns as the normal Gnasher, all the way back from the Monstrous Verge. But I think this game has a lot of potential. And I hope if any person watches these streams, I'm not trying to be negative and just say like, oh, this is a terrible game. I want you guys to listen, and if you need to rewatch it, and listen to my criticisms. And I hope it'll help you make this game even better. Because as a proper Monster Hunter game, as this being my first actual proper Monster Hunter game, after playing games like, Mercenary Kings, Dragon Ball Xeno, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse games, this was fun. Overall, it is still a fun experience, but your endgame falls apart or appeases some incredibly hardcore demographic that even I can't wrap my head around. And I don't even know how people pull off half the stuff they do. But that's going to be it for me tonight. Like I said, I don't have any immediate plans right now on what I want to stream for the next couple weeks for the rest of the month of May. Haven't really had an urge to beat another game as of this moment. I'm going to give it some thought. probably do something different than Dauntless. Because, like I said, it's kind of hard to play once you have to farm a very specific or very small set of behemoths. You know, trying to get that charged Arcanite versus just being able to farm anyone and upgrade all my stuff at a slower pace. But we'll see what actually I pull out of my hat here for tomorrow, though. But let me take a look and see who else is streaming right now. And unfortunately, there's no one I know right now that's actually streaming, or no one that I have on my follow list that's streaming. So that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed taking a look at Dauntless. Be sure to definitely give the open beta a shot and be able to give your feedback to Phoenix Labs, because I think being able to hear from multiple people will be extremely helpful. But until then, as always, take care.